This chair is going. My God, this chair is driving me crazy. You want to hear it? That's what I got to deal with. Somebody sponsor me so I can buy a chair. I'm back with another video. What's my name? It don't matter what my name is. Call me. No, don't call me whatever you want. My name is Emanual. Back with another video. Today we're gonna learn how to glue your colors together. Are your colors like just slipping all over the place? Can you not grab hold to any of your colors? Like, are they like just red is like and blue is just like Are your colors like killing you right now? Well, I can't solve all your problems because you gotta have a little bit of fundamental basics on color theory before using this technique. Otherwise, it's not gonna help you at all. Color glue. Now, what is the color glue? Now, it's just a term I made up just to simplify it and not sound too prestigious. Color harmony. That's all color glue is. Color harmony is just how colors interact with each other. You can also call it, a color scheme. Color schemes help with color harmony. Let's hop on a computer and give you a few examples. Oh my God, this chair. Okay, we're gonna start off with color schemes, right? So when you have a color scheme, you wanna mainly pick a color scheme that fits the piece that you're working on. So let's say if you're working on a nightscape piece, pick cool colors, and also cool and warm colors because they contrast each other on the color wheel. But a color scheme is going to really help you just to harmonize everything together. Because without a color scheme, you're just going to be painting random colors like some impressionistic painting that obviously works. Like, if I get paid to scribble a bunch of colors on a paper and get paid $1 million, I think I might be in the wrong business. That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about color schemes for people that actually want to make things look cohesive. So here are a few examples. We're on Google. Everybody got Google. Open up 2 tabs, your computer might explode. It's all right. Here is a very warm color scheme. So this is pretty standard. Got some pretty standard ones right here. I'm pretty sure you've seen this before. This is a better example right here. So you look at the right. Now, not all of these. Now, this is a monochromatic. Well, no, that's not monochromatic. Wait. This is a monochromatic color scheme, meaning it's literally like just different values and shades of purple. It's monochromatic. Black and white is a better example for monochromatic and a more well-known monochromatic color scheme. And then if you haven't seen my top 3 art hacks, palette generators is a good way to have a good color scheme, because when you can't really think of colors off the top of your head and you don't really know what you want to do, let's say you're a graphic designer and you just want random color schemes, a palette generator is a good addition to your arsenal. Top 5 art hacks, go watch that video. Palette generators really help out. So it's really more suitable for graphic design because when you do illustrations, I highly doubt you're going to use this few colors. And if you do, you really can get away with just, let's say you want to get away with these 4 colors right here. You can start off with these 4 and then start to broaden the spectrum, and then begin to introduce cool and warm colors. I'm going to give more examples of the color glue, or should I say color harmony. So if we look at Gustav Klimt, he is a phenomenal painter. He's dead, like dead, but he's good, or was great. You get what I'm saying? So he really was well known for his painting The Kiss and also his other works, which have this gold pigment sort of painting. They are very warm palettes. He has very eccentric patterns and things like that. This is more in the realm of style, right? But we're going to talk about his color choice. Now, if you look at all of his colors, they seem to be very harmonious, colors that you wouldn't think work together, they do. So, Ashley Wood. Now, I always bring him up. I think I brought him up in probably the last video I did too. Go watch that video. Here's another example of his work. So if you look at his work, let's check this one out. Now he has a very muted, very muted palette. 90% of his stuff is very muted, and it really plays on the cool and the warm aspect. This is an illustration. It's cool and warm. He's really playing with that idea. So we have orange and we have blue, and it's not white. It's like an off-white. So it leans toward the warm side. It's not the cool white. This is more of a subtle example of warm and cool colors. You can see toward the left, you have the blues, and then on the right, you have you have certain, so like a green, you have a tealish, and then the background you paint, it looks like a burnt sienna. Playing with warm and cool. We're going to put these examples aside, and now I'm going to delve into what actually is the color glue. Now, when it comes to my specific style of illustration, I tend to just ink, right? And I color things in a very graphical way. I don't paint. So to glue my colors together, I don't necessarily blend all the time. Like I may blend, but I'm probably getting the job done with like a cell shaded type of layer. So if you have that sort of cell shaded style and you're a graphic artist and not necessarily a painter, what can you do to glue your colors together? Now, obviously, we ran through the color harmony. You want to have your colors be harmonious and not too off the wall. You can't make colors that clash together, just automatically work in one layer. You have to really take it step by step and understand color theory. Let's see what illustration I use the color glue method on. You're going to see it and you're going to be like, man, is that simple? You took all this time to tell me that simple thing? We need views, man. We need videos got to be more than 10 minutes, man. I'm not hitting the algorithm. Like, the algorithm is hitting me. I'm not hitting the algorithm. Here's an illustration I was working on. I call it Daddy's Girl. Okay, so as you can see, Daddy's Girl is very heavily oriented on the sky, right? So the background is really what's taking this piece to the next level as an actual scene and giving it the overall mood. It's the sunset, it's the golden hour, so you really want the colors to come together. Now, if you look at it right now, nothing like in the foreground is harmonious at all. Like the little girl, her colors are just very saturated and off-putting. They don't seem like they fit the mood at all. And neither does the father. His colors, like, yes, his shading, yes, but when it gets to the brighter part of the blue, you can tell like it looks like I just flatted that and left it, right? So this is how it starts off. Like right here, it's like, okay, all my colors are done. Now I'm gonna have to add another layer to make them come together. In Clip Studio, this is hue and saturation. So let's turn that on. Now, look really closely. I don't know if you can even tell what I just did, but I just turned it on. So I'm going to zoom in again. Let's see if you can tell, like, if anything even happened. I'm going to turn it off. All right, I'm going to turn it back on. All right, turn it back off. And I'm going to turn it back on. All right, you see that slight variation? Let's open it up. So when we open that up, we see all I did was change the hue slightly. And I made everything, this is an overall, so this is going to affect all the layers. So I'm changing all the hues. I'm making all the hues slightly more warm. And the saturation, I just upped it by 5. And I didn't do anything with the last slider. Now in Photoshop, you can actually see the colors. But with this one, if you just move the colors around, then you'll see. So let me just move it around. And you'll see. So if I go this way, it's making it more so like if that was the moon, bringing it to the right, adding more of a greenish tint, bluish tint, then that would be more suitable. But I want to go more toward the warmer side. So let's just undo that. And now look at this. Now if you look at this and I go even further, now it's getting to a little bit more purple. All right. So I put it in the middle. And what you want to do is you want to drag it all the way to where it's just way too much. Actually, that's actually kind of not bad. But we want to bring it back a little bit. All right. So we're going to bring it back to there. Now I'm going to undo whatever I just did. The last and final step, after you change the hue of every color slightly and shift it, then I would add a gradient map. This is without the gradient map. Everything looks decent. You know, it looks a little decent. But we want to send it over the edge. We want to sell the scene. So we're going to add a gradient map. I'm going to turn it on and show you what it does. Boom. Now check that out. Now take a look at the blue. You see the blue in his pants, how it's not very saturated. And you see how even her purple, it has a warmer tint to it. Turn this off again. If you see that, just look at that. Before, after, before, after. The gradient map really glues everything together. So let's open it up and see what I actually did with this gradient map. So with the gradient map selected, you look over here, I have a sepia tone. That's what I put on it. The sepia tone is what I like to put on it. This is the final layer just to glue everything together and make the whole piece look more harmonious. So it's a combination of color schemes, right? And also a combination of picking the right colors. Now, if you can see right here, I have this little sunset and I was color picking the sunset just to make sure I'm not going really crazy and picking like just the wrong colors. Like if I want the colors to come off more natural, then get a more natural point of reference. You don't have to do everything from your memory, because honestly, things that are from your memory are just references from the past. So you might as well just use references right then. It makes sense, doesn't it? And people around me will let you know my memory is not the best at all. Now, when it comes to colors for a sky, I'm not that bad, you know. Let's turn up the gradient map layer, because right now I have the layers set down to 26 opacity. But if I turn it all the way up, then you'll see what it's actually doing. This is what the gradient map is actually doing. So now you can see more of what's happening. So if you look, the sun is yellow. It's still yellow, so I have my highlights set to yellow. My midtones is set to an orange, right? So when you look at the scenery of a sunset, everything is golden. And what is a golden sort of color? Orange is a golden, very warm sort of color. Now in the shadows, I have purple, just to tie in the shadows. Like if I wanted it to be an orange and teal, sort of like the old Hollywood look to give a sort of contrast, I could have added blue, but I didn't want that sort of contrast. I wanted everything to be cohesive. And like earlier when we mentioned the monochromatic color scheme. So now what I'm doing is I'm blending a regular color scheme with a monochromatic color scheme set to a 20% opacity just to glue things together. So it's like two color schemes in one, if you want to think of it that way. One color scheme is just to get the colors to be cohesive. And then the monochromatic color scheme is going to glue it together as in the scene. Glue the scenery together. So as you can see, this is how it looks just regularly, right? It's all right. It's basic. Now we're going to turn on the gradient map, and now we're going to turn it down, right? And you can adjust this to however much you think it needs. So I thought this was too much. This is at 45. That's actually not bad. But I had it way down at like 28 or something. Just so I don't completely lose all the colors. Actually, 40 isn't bad. Maybe I should have saved it at 40. Okay, this is 28. This is what I pretty much had it at. I'm going to turn it off. Turn it back on. Off. On. And that has a very, very big impact. Now, I'm a photographer. So when I take a photo, you take the photo and you get what you get, right? Now, however, after, you have post-production. So in the post-production stage is when you start to enhance the colors that you have and create the scene even more in depth. Because I have photos that if you see the before and after, then you'll be like, man, that gives it a completely different mood. Now with art, it's the same thing. However, you have to start thinking about setting the mood way before you just start throwing gradient maps on it. Like way before then, like in the process of you creating the piece, you have to be thinking about the mood that you're going for right then. So with this technique, it's not just creating a color scheme that is cohesive. After you create that cohesive color scheme, then you begin to add a gradient map to further enhance the scene. Now, every scene is not the same. Every scene is not going to be a sunset. Every scene isn't just going to be a cool day at the beach. You know, you're going to have different scenarios. And it's up to you to pick which scenario and what mood you want to go for in each and every different scenario that you have. Hopefully this video helps you guys into learning something today. If you did learn something, drop a like on the video. And if you want to stay updated, subscribe and hit that bell so you can get notifications whenever I upload a video. Thanks guys for watching. Peace out. Shalom.